So my name's Karl and basically I class myself as a guru, grassroots racer. You know, it's not about winning the race, it's about beating your mates. So that's the best feeling. Sure, winning a race is awesome and stuff, but for us it's like winning the race if we beat each other. I started racing go-karts when I was 16 or 17, and I was the size of a rugby lock, sort of playing a little bit of rugby but never any good at it, and always pretty good at go-karting. And sort of gave it up in the early 20s and got back into it with 5 mates racing cars in a series called the 24 Hour Lemons about 5 years ago. We podiumed at the first event in a car that everyone thought would be a piece of crap and turned out being a real weapon. So 2 of us sort of said at the time, well, what do we do now? We want to do something a bit more serious. Lemons was great fun. We had a ball doing it and would highly recommend it to anyone. But then we went on and brought 2K Cup cars, did a bit of research and what's the Grassroots series in New Zealand that looks fun. The 2K Cup, you get a chance to do a lot of overtakes, so you really learn the skill of overtaking in 2K Cup. Where in Mazdas, the cars, the top 10 are within half a second of each other typically. So you're constantly just trying to, overtake people. It's hard because all the cars are the same speed. I come out of a race car for the next week, it's like you're on a high, so your adrenaline is just pumped. You know, you see these guys when they get out of these cars in the weekend. Our second race down in Manfield, it was like a war. I actually brought a war watch and I gave one to my mate who races with me. I said, we wear these when we race because we're at war. So we actually wear a G-Shock war watch as a symbol that we're going to war, because that's what it's like, door to door at war. So, and it just gives you an adrenaline rush. Like for me, I haven't really, experienced with anything else. So, yeah, do it because of the adrenaline rush. Do it because of the camaraderie with your mates and all the bullshit, rubbish stories that come out afterwards. Like I took 2 of our sponsors out 2 weeks ago in the Beamer in the passenger seat, and they came out and they had such a buzz. They loved it so much. They came back to the B&H 500, brought a barbecue and cooked us all lunch. Just being in the passenger seat for 3 or 4 laps of hooky, never been exposed to motorsport before, they went, holy moly, this is awesome. Where to start to get into motor racing is depending on the class you're in. I always say to people, like a lot of people, their first obstacle is budget. So I always say to people, just go to the track, go and pit crew for someone. Heaps of people want help, just turn up and say, can I help you today? There's plenty of 2K Cup and Mazda series, there's guys that you can go and befriend and change their gas, check their tyres, get around it so you understand it if you're not sure. But then when you're ready to get into a class, basically things like buying a car that's already done is way cheaper than doing a car yourself. So even at 2K Cup level, if you go buy a car that's got a cage and ready to race, it could be as much as half the price if you're going to buy that same street car and putting all that stuff in yourself. Yeah, so the thing is, when you first start, in terms of where do you find the money going, the example of the 2K Cup guy, I sold him a car. We see guys turn up to these race meetings that have never raced before, they've got their suits, they don't really know how much it's going to cost them in the year. And it's the little things, like they turn up with a set of Repco front pads on for a 33-minute 2K Cup race, and then metal to metal after 20 minutes. And they go, I put brand new pads in it. Well, those brand new pads will be fine on the road, but not on a Honda Integra that burns at 600 degrees for 33 minutes. The pads won't last a race. And you see guys turn up and their pads are welded. Literally, I've seen a guy pull his handbrake in the pits of a 2K Cup and can't move the car because he's welded his pads to it. So the things it's the old story, it's like anything, you don't know what you don't know. So brand new pads, but they're a crappy pad that doesn't work in race conditions. Guys don't change the oil enough, so they blow engines all the time or gearboxes. So they just don't understand the requirement that these aren't race cars, a lot of them we're racing, they're just road cars. And we're out there thrashing them and put a paint job on them to make them look like a race car. The night before you do like 1 million laps in your head of the track. Like for me, I look at the track map, I start thinking about the race in terms of what I'm doing and where I'm going and what I want to try and achieve and what I want to do. the amount of times I heard guys say, how many laps did you do in your sleep last night? Everyone was saying it. So everyone does that, right? So, and yeah, you go out and try and do the best you can, and then when it's all over, you know, you drive home and you're still doing laps in your head. And then you're texting your mates for a week and you're calling them. I had 3 calls today about last weekend. Oh, you know, what about this? What about that? Have you seen this video? Have you seen this? So yeah, it's just pretty much stays Christmas for another week and then it dies off until the next one starts. Yeah. This is my third or fourth Futura trailer. I tell my mates I call them investment trailers because every one I've brought new I've sold for more than I've bought it new, because they hold their value so well. So, and that's not a marketing thing, that's just a reality. I've 4 trailers, I've sold them all for more than I brought them new. This is a bit of a beast. It's a big trailer, but it allows us to carry pretty much in here behind this sort of workbench here. We have a spare engine, a spare gearbox, a spare diff, pretty much everything to keep this thing going at a race weekend. But actually what I really enjoy about this trailer is it becomes a bit of a hub on race day. It's sort of like a mobile garage, so we've got it set up with all the tools and everything in it. Obviously it carries the car from A to B, but when the car's out of it, we chuck a barbecue out the back and 10 guys sitting in here. We've got a screen up the front, either covering the V8s or looking at data from the last race, and it becomes a hub for people to hang around, and obviously get you out of the wind and the weather and the sun. So that's actually what I really enjoy about this trailer. Where the last ones I've had have just been open deck trailers. They've been great for getting the car there, but this is a multi-purpose tool for me, really. Yeah, they're awesome. I love them.